Hello, my fellow handicappers. This is Weekend Handicapper from weekendhandicapper.com. In this video, we are going to preview the 2020 TVG Breeders Cup Juvenile, a race in which you could be seeing a Kentucky Derby winner months in advance. Now, before we get going and looking at some of these contenders, if you want to learn how to bet on horses and if you enjoy the sport of horse racing, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so you can get all the latest tips, tools, and resources to help you win money betting on thoroughbred horse racing. All right, so let's look at these contenders. Keep in mind, we're about 20, as I make this video, we're about 20 days before the Breeders' Cup, and the field isn't set in stone, so some of these contenders might not end up racing in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, and there might be some late additions to the Breeders' Cup Juvenile that I don't mention here. I can only go by what's on the Breeders' Cup website, what they have listed as contenders. They list 14 as I record this. I think there's going to be a 15th horse, which I'll be sure to include here. So if I miss some horses, or by the time you watch this, one of these or two of these horses or more aren't running in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, then I apologize. I'll try to update these videos as much as possible. Hopefully the Breeders' Cup updates their website often. I have to trust that they do so we could get accurate information. All right, now, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile could produce a Kentucky Derby winner. When the next time the Kentucky Derby rolls around, we don't know yet. And hopefully in the spring, some argue for the fall, like it was in this year, 2020. But typically, you might be seeing a Kentucky Derby winner, but not all the time. In certain, matter of fact, there was a so-called jinx. The only horses that come to my mind that actually won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, then came the next year and won the Kentucky Derby, is Street Sense and Nyquist. To my mind, that's about the only two that I can recall. There might be more, but there's not too many. So what I'm getting at is, don't think the winner of this race is a shoe-in to win the Kentucky Derby. It doesn't really happen that often. Ever since the Breeders' Cup been running their races. So keep that in mind. But you could see absolutely good horses at the very beginning of their career in this race, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, TVG Breeders' Cup Juvenile. So let's, like we do with most horse races, start with the favorite or the likely favorite. That is Jackie's Warrior. Jackie's Warrior's 4-0, has done nothing wrong. Just won the Champagne Stakes at Belmont. Now, but that might be a negative. What I mean is it might not have enough rest. These are young, developing horses, so it might need more rest in between that victory on October 10th, to when the Breeders' Cup Juvenile is ran. So that's one. If you're trying to beat a low-price horse, maybe that's one of the reasons you do it. And another reason, maybe the added distance might not be to Jackie's Warrior's liking, but it might not matter either. So that's some things you got to factor in when we analyze the probable most likely favorite, which is Jackie's Warrior, trained by Steve Asmussen. But certainly a good horse. But question, can it get the distance? Check out the pedigrees and see if, or evaluate, really think about whether or not that horse needs more time off in between races. You think it'd be ready to go between the Champagne Stakes and the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. That's something to think about. So keep up with how it works out, what the trainer says about it, and maybe research its pedigree to see if its lineage, or his sire and dam, I should say, have done okay, or has produced horses that could get these kind of distances. And the distance is 1 1/16 for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. So, and that's one thing to think about or know about the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. These are young horses, so they've been sprinting. They've slowly increased their distance for the most part. So now they're going to, majority of them going to be trying this distance, 1 1/16 for the first time. So it's something to keep in mind. All right, now we got, so Jackie's Warrior for sure, logical horse, logical favorite. Essential Quality. I was very impressed by Essential Quality in its last race. It won at Keeneland, which is where the Breeders' Cup is in 2020. So you know the horse can win at that particular track, horse for course. Trained by Brad Cox. Seemed like he wins all the time. So that I feel confident in Brad Cox, that's for sure. But I like the way Essential Quality won the Claiborne Breeders' Futurity. I loved the trip he got, the way he handled himself, just kind of was patient and then kicked it in and was a very impressive winner. So Essential Quality, for sure, I think is a quality horse that you really got to pay attention to in the TVG Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Then we got, and it's undefeated too, then we got Get Her Number. Get Her Number, Peter Miller's horse, West Coast horse from Santa Anita. It's won at 1.16 so that's pretty good. That's a good thing, which includes the American Pharoah Stakes. So if you are a big believer in, you want to back horses or bet on horses that are proven at a certain distance, then I can understand why you might take a shot with Get Her Number. So next we got, here's that horse I was talking about, Reinvestment Risk for Chad Brown. On the Breeders' Cup website, it doesn't show that Reinvestment Risk is listed as a contender in this year's Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Doesn't mean it won't be in the race, and it doesn't mean they'll add it later, or I don't know what the rationale is. Maybe it's not running in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, but I have a feeling it is. Everything I've seen Chad Brown say, I think I'm up to date on these things. It's going to run, and it's going to try to rematch with Jackie's Warrior, who it came in second behind in the Champagne Stakes at Belmont. So definitely Reinvestment Risk. We'll see if it runs in the race, but Chad Brown's definitely a competent trainer, that's for sure. Ron Bauer from Santa Anita, got 3 starts, 2 of them at Del Mar, and got second in the Santa Anita American Pharoah Stakes. And then I liked how it closed in in that race. So it set right way back in the back, and then it made a nice move and got second behind Get Her Number. So who knows? If you play closers, then that horse seems like it's got a nice little late kick. So coming from the West Coast. All right, then we got Spielberg. Bob Baffert's horse. Hadn't won yet, but it was third in the American Pharoah Stakes, and it's got a couple seconds at Del Mar. So you know Bob Baffert gets his horses ready. But I don't know about this horse. I don't know if it can improve. If it hadn't won these races leading up to it, you're going to win the big one for this age group, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. But that doesn't mean the horse can't win, because these horses develop and improve drastically. That's why it's kind of difficult wagering on them, betting on them, because they're still developing. And then all of a sudden, phenomenal improvements. They can shock you in a way sometimes. So we'll see if Spielberg stays about the same and finishes like it's been doing, or finally gets a victory on the biggest stage of all for this age group. All right, Likeable, Todd Pletcher raced horse. I liked the race. It was a mile, maiden special weight, September 19th at Belmont. It was a little rank at first, in my opinion. Got out to the early lead, then it settled down, and then it won by 6 lengths. Of course, the competition might have been what it was, but it was still kind of impressive. So maybe this horse keeps improving. So that horse is trained by last year's winner, trainer, Todd Pletcher, who had Vino Rosso last year in the Breeders' Cup Classic. So definitely Todd knows what he's doing. So yeah, that's an interesting horse. It's just the extra distance, can he get that? I think so. I like that early speed near the front. Just needs to relax a little bit more, get a little bit more mature in his next start. He might have a real good shot. Likeable. All right, now sitting on goal. Long shot winner. Boy, I'll tell you what, when I was watching this race, the Iroquois race, or the Iroquois at Churchill Downs, super move, I thought. He did hit that go button. He was sitting on go. He basically, around that last turn, started making that move, and Travis Stone, the race caller at Churchill Downs, did a great job picking that up and letting everybody know that this horse was coming, even though he was wide, but he still won at a big price. I think it was 24-1, somewhere around there. And so this horse certainly improved. Can he keep improving? We'll see, but Dale Romans, the trainer, seems like he's got a pretty quality horse here in sitting on go. Superman Shack, another Peter Miller horse. We'll see if this horse runs, according to the Breeders' Cup website. Supposed to be in there. It's raced at Del Mar, so we'll see. Again, like many of these horses, has been sprinting. Let's see if it could stretch out and get that distance. Upstriker, Ron Moquette trained horse. It's raced at Keeneland before, and it came in 4th in the Claiborne Breeders' Futurity, which is the one that Essential Quality won. And it got out to the lead in that race, but it flattened out. And that's, if you watch the replay of that race, it was trying, and you see this horse come up on the outside, just very calm, confident, seemed like he knew what he was doing, which was Essential Quality, and just took care of business. So, I don't know. I don't know if that horse, we'll see if it gets in, how well it does. I think it'd definitely be a long shot up striker. All right, so picking time. Now look, I don't know if they mean that name comes from picking horses or picking guitar. I love doing both. So hunch play for me, for sure, picking time. But I don't know if I'll pick it for this race. It comes from Monmouth Park. It says 4 starts, 2 wins, and placed once. We'll see if this horse races. Got a lot of competition, I think, to face in this race. But going on a hunch play and liking the name, picking time is certainly pulling at my heartstrings. I don't think it pull at my wallet though. Speaking of names, this one's a tough one. Smiley Saboka, I believe is Botka. How you pronounce it? Another Dale Romans horse. We'll see if this one has a shot here. It's raced at Keeneland. So again, I don't know how much credence. That's a personal opinion on how much you give to horses that have raced at a certain track. So against this competition, usually don't matter because these horses are really good. But I think it does. At least should be a positive if the horse has done well at a certain track, that the race that you're handicapping that particular day, if it's raced there before and has done well, I think that's another positive. So definitely. So I'm not sure about, I would definitely probably prefer sitting on go, Dale Romans horse sitting on go to this one, but we'll see. Keep me in mind. For sure I will, because this horse came in 2nd in that Claiborne Breeders' Cup Futurity at a huge number, 52-1. It kind of closed in. So it's raced 2 times, came in 2nd 2 times. If it comes in 2nd at those odds on Breeders' Cup Juvenile, during the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, I can't imagine the payouts. So we'll see, but I don't know if that's a win contender. Then you got Ascalon, maybe that's how you pronounce it, Japanese horse. 2 starts. These foreign shippers, this is one of the reasons Breeders' Cup's so hard. You gotta evaluate horses from all over the world. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure how a Japanese horse can stack up to these American horses. That doesn't mean you shouldn't factor it in or contend it, but it has 2 starts. It's won, came in 15th. Yes, 15th in the other one. Hunt Singer, trained by Danny Pish, I believe is how you say it. It's undefeated. And at Remington Park, and I think it ran another race at Lone Star Park. So wouldn't that be something that a Remington Park horse or a horse that ran at Lone Star Park ends up winning the Breeders' Cup Juvenile? So I think it's definitely a long shot to win it, but I guess that would make a pretty good story. All right, let's see here. Let's make sure I didn't miss anybody, but I think we got them all covered as of now. Remember, subscribe to this YouTube channel so you get all these updates when we get the final field in, or if we got some late additions that I didn't mention here in this video. So as it sits right now, I would think Essential Quality is looking pretty good as far as I'm concerned. Of course, we got the post position, draw still. We got to look at the pace scenario. But I was very impressed with Essential Quality and its victory in the Claiborne Breeders' Futurity at Keeneland. Again, raced at Keeneland, looked really good in the race, in my opinion. It won at Keeneland. I think it has a shot. Got to beat Jackie's Warrior, that's for sure. The Sitting on Goal is definitely an interesting horse, especially underneath in the exotics. So those, right now, as we record this video, about 20 days out from the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, TVG Breeders' Cup Juvenile, that's the field as far as I see it. That's some contenders and some long shots, but I still got a lot of researching to do, a lot more analyzing the replays, the race replays of these horses, checking out their pedigrees, keeping track of their workouts, doing all that on the front end. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but I enjoy it. And if you like handicapping, you probably enjoy doing that stuff too, keeping up with how these horses are doing, how they're coming along, and what races they've raced at, and then try to put all these pieces of the puzzle together in order to make some money. That's what it's all about. This is why I love it. And I love this time of year, trying to figure out these Breeders' Cup races and maybe seeing a future star of our sport in these Breeders' Cup Juvenile races. So stay tuned for updates on the Breeders' Cup Juvenile and the Breeders' Cup Classic. Again, if you want to make sure you get those updates and the latest videos, hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you can get all these latest updates to the field. Do your handicapping, watch these races, race replays, and I would love to hear who you think might win the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, who you like. Am I missing anybody? Are you high on a horse and can't wait to bet it? Or you think a horse like Jackie's Warrior should have it done at probably the favorite? So let me know your feedback, what you're thinking. I can't wait to make an update to this video as we approach the 2020 Breeders' Cup Juvenile. All right, until next time, happy handicapping, smart wagering.